Mike Davis joins now. Sir, Trump also added on day one that businesses are fleeing New York because of, obviously, Letitia James, the AG, who brought the case. From your perspective, is this a proper manner for James to be conducting her resources, given the crime aspect that has taken over the New York City streets?
No, this is obvious Democrat lawfare and election interference against President Trump. It started with 2 bogus impeachments against then-President Trump. It continued with 4 indictments, unprecedented indictments against a former president for non-crimes. And now you have this New York Attorney General Tish James, the dumbest Democrat Attorney General in America, charging Trump for fraud, for the non-fraud of a businessman paying back sophisticated Wall Street banks in full, on time, with interest. You have to ask this question: who the hell was defrauded? And if the banks were defrauded, which they weren't, why wouldn't the banks bring the fraud lawsuit instead of this Democrat Attorney General Tish James?
It's a great question, sir. But this is also, it's a frightening reality. She's pushing a case that, mind you, Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg wouldn't even touch. Bragg wouldn't charge a criminal fraud case based on Trump's financial records because, as you said, Trump always repaid his business loans. So she's using this weird executive law 6312. From your expertise, Mike, how dangerous is the avenue that James is rolling on in this case?
I don't know how this is constitutional under the 7th Amendment to the United States Constitution. You have Tish James bringing a civil fraud lawsuit, and it doesn't even allow Trump to ask for a jury trial. And before the trial even began, Tish James went to this goofball Democrat New York local judge and just had this judge rule by fiat before the trial that Trump somehow committed fraud with no witnesses, no other evidence, no cross-examination, let alone a jury. This goofball Democrat judge just decreed that Trump committed fraud and said that he's going to take away President Trump's New York business licenses and put the Trump organization under some sort of a special master in New York. This is not constitutional. This is only constitutional in third world Marxist hellholes like North Korea and Zimbabwe, and now New York, D.C., and Atlanta.
You mentioned it, sir, that the way that they're going about this, it doesn't matter. They can't actually ask for a jury trial, but there's been much brouhaha about the fact that it is a bench trial versus a jury trial. Does it even matter, though, Mike, considering the jury pool of New York City is so one-sided, 75% Democrat? Is a bench trial actually more suitable? But then when you look at the judge, who is smiling at the camera, how do you sort out that whole mess?
That's the problem with these third world Marxist hellholes like New York, D.C., and Atlanta. You have these Democrat prosecutors, these Democrat judges, and these overwhelmingly Democrat juries who have been politicized and weaponized to go after their political enemies. And President Trump is correct. What company wants to go subject themselves to this legal terrorism in New York? If a company thinks that they can have tens of thousands of employees just cut at the knees and their company taken away from them and given to a receivership because there's a disagreement with the local Democrat prosecutor, why the hell would you open up a business in New York?
Mike Davis, Article 3 Foundation. Sir, we appreciate your time. We appreciate your insight. Thank you for joining One American News.
Thank you.